I'm in the field, 2-minute drill, highlight reel, let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control, buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here, back that back, Nat Chance, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You like that? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Tuesday evening. Got an absolutely loaded show for you guys, as we usually do come 8 o'clock on a given show day.
I would say
any given show day, we're going to show up. We're going to have a loaded script for you guys as we do today. We got Big 12 news, some fireworks out there in Dallas, Texas for Big 12 Media Days. Hey, I will give the Big 12 credit. Shout out to them for leaving that in one spot consistently and just making it out there in Jerry's practice facility out there in Fort Worth. Good on those guys for at least making it consistent, because some of us conferences have to bing bong around random cities like, you know, Nashville, Dallas, Tampa, Atlanta, Birmingham. Some of us have to just like wait for Greg Sankey to tell us which city, you know, we're going to. So shout out to them. That's the only consistent thing out of the Big 12. They at least got the same spot out there. We got uni rankings tonight, Christian. We're going to rank uniforms out here on the Film Guide Network. We're going to talk uniforms tonight. Best trait, or rather best strength, best liability is what we're going to talk tonight. We're going to go through a handful of football teams. Your favorite football team will be talked about tonight at some point. All right, so that's good. And much, much more on tonight's broadcast, as you can tell. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and telling a friend. We ran into this news last night on our network. A bunch of you guys got randomly unsubscribed from our channel. So make sure, if you have shown up here in your regular programming scheduled at 8 o'clock, you are a diehard of this network, and still YouTube may have ghost unsubscribed you to our platform. Google says it's because of making sure there's no bot accounts, which I don't know if they've watched our climb. Our climb has been steady and constant since, I don't know, 2020. Ain't no bot accounts on this one, Bubba. Ain't no bot subscribers around here. If there were, I would have bought them a long time ago and would have gotten north of $100,000. Wouldn't have been slaving away like we've been doing the last several years. So that ain't the case around here, but YouTube might have thought you were a bot. So make sure you look right there and say, hey, oh crap, I'm unsubscribed. Subscribe back for me right now. If you haven't already. YouTube's opping on us. I can't believe that.
That's weird. You wouldn't think the people that are regularly tuning in on the off season are the ones that are getting bot checked. I know when it happened. It was like early in February. We had a random dip in subscribers, and I'm like, that's not normal. Like I expected to taper off in terms of the rapid growth we have in season, but the out of season random unsubscribing stuff, not normally the case around here. But yep, YouTube might have wiped you out of the familia. So make sure you're joining back if you haven't already. Kirby, I want to start with the fact that I think I have found the most unlikable man in college football. Ooh.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Oh, it's Brett Yormark, the president and leader of the Big 12, if you will. Guy just seems like he sucks. And I don't mean to say that. He might be a nice guy. But everything I ever see from him, every video I ever see from him, every clip, every soundbite, everything from this man. I just look at him, I'm like, I don't think I would like you. I don't think I would like to go, have a bite to eat. I definitely don't think I want to hang out with you. I definitely don't think you're doing your job as good as you think you're doing your job. I don't think Brett Yormark is a very likable human being.
I can see why you say that, and we'll get into that. I think, could it also be that this person is under copious amounts of stress at the moment and scrutiny?
Could be.
I mean, I think that's probably weighing a bit on it.
Could be. He didn't handle it very well,
No.
if that's the case.
God, no.
If it's, hey, man, I'm under a lot of stress, go put on a fake face while you stand in front of a national media pool, why don't you? Go ahead, Kirby, and play this soundbite. I want to play one soundbite from Big 12 Media Days. I got several things to say about this soundbite, but this one from Brett Yormark is the one that went viral today.
Sean Dillon, Rocket Brigade. Commission, Texas Tech got fined over tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU paddles broke an always maker rule, has a tradition exemption. Sorsby never played a snap. Big 12 sued them anyway, while Cincinnati hasn't been yet touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas fans believe it?
Can you sit? Let me come closer to you. Stand up. Ask that question again, and I'm going to give you the answer I want to give you. So go ahead.
Texas Tech got fined for tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU has had paddles that were given a noisemaker exemption back in 2012. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders, and yet there is a lawsuit. Cincinnati has yet to be touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe them?
No, I didn't say greater than 12. You misquoted me. I said we're going forward as 16 strong, and that's my answer to your question. But thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
All right, so a couple of things here. First and foremost, probably the weirdest way I've ever heard the word tortilla pronounced, especially from a man who I assume is from Texas and has had many tortillas in his life. He mispronounced it twice.
Yeah, he struggled with that.
Did you notice that? It was tortillas, then said corrected to tortillas. Then he did it again when Brett made him re-ask his question. Couple of things there on that front. Multiple things that the internet has gotten on to my man for asking that question, the tortilla mispronunciation. I will give him credit. If you've never been in situations like that where you're asking questions with a microphone that is also reverbing off of the in-house speakers, it can be rather disorienting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're not accustomed to, I don't know, being on national television, like if you have some like little podcast like me, and you're talking on national television and you see your face on the big screen that's up there in front of you, it can be very disorienting. It can be nerve-wracking as well if you're not very comfortable in those situations, which, I mean, I've been doing this 5 or 6 years going to these media day events, and I'm not comfortable when that microphone gets handed to me. I probably wouldn't mispronounce tortillas, though. That's first and foremost. Secondly, the Oklahoma State thing probably shouldn't have get brought in there. Like, hey, first of all, they don't throw the paddles onto the field. They don't stop the game of play throwing paddles onto the field like Texas Tech fans do with their tortillas. So there's that. That's all I got to say about my man and hating on him. The rest of this, we're going to cook Mr. Yormark. Why on earth do you feel as it is okay to tell another grown man, stand up when you talk to me? I don't even tell my kids that. Hey, stand upright when you talk to me. You better stand up. What? That was weird. I found that very weird and unlikable.
Yeah, it's definitely a power move. I don't think it's the most unlikable thing that was done in that interaction.
Was it the ask me again and I'll give you the answer that I want to give you?
Yeah,
it?
That one was weird.
Yeah, not I'll give you an answer. I'll give you the answer that I want to give you. By the way, didn't give him an answer, just told him that he was wrong, that he misquoted him. No answer at all in that situation from Yormark. I found that extremely, extremely unlikable throughout its entirety.
Yeah, he like we said in the start of this, obviously this is a person who given everything that went down with Brendan Sorsby and all that stuff, you would assume is probably under a large amount of stress, is under a large amount of public scrutiny. He obviously felt very disrespected and offended by that question, which understandably so. It's such an out of left field question. I think both sides are equally to blame and came off as unlikable as possible in this regard. Obviously Brett Yormark did himself no favors, but the question is just insane.
You think so?
I think so. Like the idea of like, oh, you say you're this, but we're getting cheated. We're like very obviously a Texas Tech beat reporter.
Yeah,
very
not even a beat reporter. He's a podcaster.
Okay, yeah. Very obviously someone connected to Texas Tech and is trying to do the whole gotcha moment of, oh, you say all these things, but Texas Tech is getting treated misfairly. It's Brett Yormark not trying to have this gotcha moment or placate like he's been taking an L in this conversation. And he does the ultimate nuclear power moves and tells you, stand up when you're talking to me and all those things. Like, it's not a great look on either side. Brett Yormark certainly came off as unlikable, but I think so did the journalist.
So he was asked again by another Texas Tech beat reporter something along the lines of, can you provide any type of comment on the Sorsby situation?
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said, now is not the time to talk about the Sorsby situation. Today is about celebrating the Big 12 and being excited about the season that's coming up. To which I respond, no, that is not at all an acceptable answer, in my opinion, as the commissioner of the Big 12. You are the face of the league. You are to answer to all the things that are going on in the league. And that's the only time, by the way, that the entire media pool will interview you. Like, yeah, I'm sure Yormark's going to go on some Big 12 television network stuff. I'm sure Yormark is going to be on sidelines this year where a camera gets put in front of his face. But the only time you are going to be subjected to answering questions in a format like that is right then, right there. So, yeah, you kind of have to answer that. Even if it's, hey, don't really want to talk about the Sorsby situation. Or I don't even know. I don't know what my answer would be. But he had an entire month to prepare something that could have been commissioner jargon instead of, hey, today's not about that. Today is about celebrating the Big 12 and announcing that we got robbed by Monster Energy. That's what today is about. So let's do that. Let's talk about all of our advertising dollars that are shortcoming and shortfalling. Let's talk about all of the good stuff in this conference. Let's not talk about any of the maybe controversial stuff going on in this conference. I thought that was very, very off-putting, I would be the word. The other thing is his general attitude and his general posture and demeanor on the stage. Him walking around, pacing back and forth, pointing at people, telling them to get up when they talk. Very, very unlikable in its entirety. I haven't seen a commissioner do the freelance walk around the stage. Have you? Like he's a stand-up comedian doing crowd work. No, they typically stay at the
podium. I mean, I guess it's his preference to seem more in tuned and connected to the people. I get it. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It's definitely a unique thing that he's doing.
I was waiting for the annual, the Big 12 is the deepest conference in the sport. I was waiting on it. It's every year. I'm sure he slipped it in somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's gotten cooked enough on that he's probably not going to say that anymore.
If you don't address that now, if now was not the right time to talk about the situation that just happened and unfolded this offseason, when would it be, Kirby? When is it the right time to talk about this as a commissioner?
I think, honestly, he was kind of hoping that we can just kind of dodge and avoid any discussions on this topic, any controversies here, and we could kind of just move on with the season, and everyone will forget that Brendan Sorsby almost played college football this season. And then by the time the game started, no one would really be talking about Brendan Sorsby as much. I think that was Yormark's kind of goal in this, and he navigated it so poorly. Like, if he had the option, I'm sure he would never talk about this. He would never have to sit down. He would never have to face the music. He would never have to answer questions. He would never have to discuss what went down with the Brendan Sorsby discussions. Obviously, that's not the case, but he did a very poor job of avoiding it.
If you haven't checked the thumbnail today, the Big 12 sold out for pennies on the dollars. I'm talking about straight up pennies on the dollar. Monster Energy is now the, what do you call it, naming rights sponsor of the entire conference. So not only does every Big 12 employee and every television sponsor announcing any type of Big 12 football game, basketball game, baseball game this year will have to notify them as Monster Energy Big 12 football, Monster Energy Big 12 basketball. That is every time they mention the Big 12, and it's not, Texas Tech playing an out-of-conference game that's broadcast on the CW or whoever. If it is Big 12 rights, they have to announce it fully as the Monster Energy Big 12 football game or whatever. So that's what I thought, like, okay, $20 million. That's a reasonable price for that, to have it be the Big 12 Media Days brought to you by Monster Energy, Monster Energy's Big 12 Media Days. Plus, y'all want to throw them some shouts on the television broadcast. I'm cool with that for $20 million. What threw me, and what should throw every single member of the Big 12, is the fact that that $20 million also includes a patch on the jersey and a logo on the field. So I'm going to run down some numbers for other schools that have already done private deals like this in-house, which is what they all should be doing. Mm-hmm. Private deals, negotiating their own, using their own leverage to go out and do this. Not, oh my God, you just sold a patch on my jersey and a logo on my field, and I think they get social media engagement as well. Yeah, they have to cross over and tag Monster and use Monster on all of these different things within social media platforms for $1.2 million per member school. Kirby, did you know that Michigan State got $4 million annually from the Federal Credit Union for a patch on their jersey?
Oh, man.
Did you know that UNLV got the same exact dollar amount? UNLV got the same exact dollar amount from something called Acesso Biologics?
No, I did not.
$1.2 million. That's what they got. Monster got Houston's jersey for what Acesso Biologies got UNLV's jersey for. Did you know that New Mexico State got almost this much money from the local hotel in the mountains out there? Bet you didn't know that. Did you know that LSU, and I know LSU, big school, big brand. LSU got $7 million for the patch that they sold this year. $7 million. Monster got the whole league for 20.
Is there some agreement that Big 12 schools are under where you can't negotiate these deals as your own entity? That it has to be a conference-wide thing? I would
assume so. They must have had to bend the knee here and okay, yeah, that's fine. By the way, I called around today to different decision makers in the SEC and the Big Ten when this news broke. There would be riots, is the sentiment that I got from these people in the bigger conferences. Absolute riots, okay? Because there's no telling, absolutely no telling how much Tyson Foods gave Arkansas to put stuff on their field. There's absolutely no telling what Delta paid Georgia to put on their field. I have no idea what Pilot gave Tennessee. Have no idea. However, every single one of those schools that I called today was like, yeah, I can't tell you how much we got, but it damn sure wasn't 1.2 million.
Yeah. That's there's got to be something within the conference. I refuse to believe that the Big 12 allowed for those schools to sell themselves that short. Because we talk about this is a conference that is obviously predicated on, hey, the best way that we're going to be able to recruit and spend with the big dogs is if we go in and get all this money from elsewhere. Not every one of our member schools has a oil-rich billionaire booster base that can provide for us. Our schools need to go out and find money elsewhere. The idea that, here's $1.2 million for basically all of your media rights and all social media stuff, horrible negotiating if that's how it's done.
Mm-hmm. Chat saying Delta gave Georgia north of $10 million plus. So I have no idea, but it damn sure wasn't 1.2 annually.
No.
I mean, that is ridiculous. I saw a beat reporter from Oklahoma that said there are multiple companies in the state of Oklahoma attempting to give Oklahoma $5 million for their patch.
I mean, annually. I believe it.
Annually. And he announced it like it was groundbreaking, and I know that's his job. His job is to go up there and sell it, but your job's also to get maximum dollars for your member schools. Mm-hmm. And $1.2 million, Bubba, that ain't what San Diego State's about to get. Like this is some of the worst negotiating I've seen a commissioner do for not just like one member, it's just the whole conference for $20 million. I mean, Josh Pate, I saw a tweet from him said he would if he sold his entire naming rights to his show for $1.2 million, he said his sales guy would be fired.
Yeah, I understand it.
Now, the retort was probably more people watch Josh Pate than they do UCF Buffalo or Colorado this year. I doubt that though. Like even UCF Colorado, the gamblers are going to push that to north of 1 million viewers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But even so, like, and I would love to know more about these details because on the surface, $1.2 million is a terrible negotiation. Are you able to also add your other sponsor, or is this an exclusive rights deal? I don't know.
Even if you do, but like I don't. Your negotiation power, if like for example, if there is a company that wants to sponsor Texas Tech, well, first of all, we're not going to put 2 patches on the jersey.
Yeah.
We're not going to be the first school to put 2 patches on the jersey. Highly doubt that. Also, you just cut your negotiation power in half. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least in half because now I'm the second thing on there.
Yeah.
Same thing with the field logos. Oh, what? So I get the 35-yard line and I get half a big of a logo?
Yeah.
No, you're not. I wouldn't even give you 1.2 million anymore. You just set your ceiling for field negotiations, for patch negotiations. You just set all of those, unless I just want to, right? Unless I'm a billionaire who just wants to give money to the school, which we already know there's one of those out there, and all his money was, I'm pretty sure it's in his bank account. It's not in a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to the Monster Corporation that negotiated this because that's a bang-up deal on their end.
Straight robbed them for pennies on the dollar compared to some of this stuff. Do you have any other thoughts? What'd you think about Deion's comments about the video game today? Did you see this? They asked him why he wasn't in College Football 27, and he basically said, if you don't see me in the game, it's because they didn't pay me enough.
I mean, that is a classic Deion Sanders primetime type of comment. I mean, it wouldn't surprise, like, if a Kirby Smart or a Kurt Signetti or someone like that said that, I feel like that would be major news. It's Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is known to be very confident, very sometimes arrogant in certain areas. I don't think it's anything to look at and be like, oh my God. Like, once again, it's a video game. Like, I don't think anyone's played the video game going like, wait a minute, where's Deion Sanders? Like, if a player's missing, that's one thing. But, like, if Prime's not in the video game, I don't think it's that noteworthy.
What do you think they offered him?
I don't know.
Is it still $600?
I have no clue.
Wasn't that what it was last year? If you opted into this, you got a $600 check?
I think that's what it was for players. I have no idea because remember, coaches originally weren't included in the first one. College Football 25 did not have coaches, just had generic names. So yeah. I don't know if the coaches have some different agreement. I mean, I would imagine it's a lot easier to unionize as a coaching coalition than thousands of players. So I don't know. Either way, it is what it is.
Chat's going crazy with all the potential sponsorships that y'all got going on here. Yeah, the idea of selling the entire conference and undercutting your entire conference's negotiation power, that's the biggest problem to me. It's like you just chopped everybody's deals. I'm probably in 1/5 of it. Like I told you. I mean, most non-Power 4 schools like UNLV got $1.2 million from their patch logo school. So like, and that's just for the patch. That's not for the field. It's crazy to me that they lost a ton of money across the board on this.
Left it on the table for sure. Yeah.
But hey, I mean, you can just take Redbird Capital's $30 million. You can just take private equity money if you. I mean, again,
and that might be part of the negotiation of like, hey, we got you this private equity deal. Here's part of it. We're gonna do this as well. I don't know.
All right, let's get into our next segment, Kirby. This is biggest strength, biggest liability. Now, we got several football teams in here, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rattle them off, and if you feel perturbed listening to me right now in the chat that your team's not about to get talked about, we will add them to the list willy-nilly right now. So here are the teams we're going to talk about tonight. Alabama, Georgia, Miami, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Oregon. We got Notre Dame, Texas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Are there any fans of football teams right now in the chat today that are like, you better give me my biggest strength and biggest weakness and liability today, or I'm going to be pissed? If so, fire off in the chat right now. Please do so seriously because this is, willy-nilly on the fly production for us. So there we go. Let's start, Kirby, with the Alabama Crimson Tide. What do you think their biggest strength is entering 2026?
Got to be on the defensive side of the football. I think that they're going to be one of the best teams in the SEC, if not the nation, in defending the pass. I think they have an elite secondary. They're going to give most any quarterback problems this year, and I think that's going to be a big strength for them. It won them games last year. It made them a very efficient team at certain times. So I think their defense is going to be strong once again, especially in the secondary.
Kirby, willy-nilly already. I can't believe we even missed this pre-show. Oklahoma and LSU, add them to your list right now. Okay? We got to talk about those teams tonight as well. You hit the nail on the head with their defensive backcourt in particular. I think Xavier Brown and Dejon Lee are probably the second best corner tandem in the sport. I would take Leonard Moore and Christian Gray over those two, but barely. I mean, that's because I think Leonard Moore is, quote-unquote, generational. That's how good he is. So, but those two guys, Xavier Brown's going to be a top 40 pick. Dejon Lee is probably going to be a top 40 pick when he comes out in about 24 months. Out of that football program as well. Keon Saab and Bray Hubbard are as good of a safety tandem as we have potentially in college football as well. Red Morgan in the nickel's really, really good. I mean, if he's not on the field, Xavier Mincy is really, really good. And I thought Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. looked damn good in the spring game, Kirby. People talking about Ellis and DeMello in the chat. I don't think Ellis and DeMello are in the territory of Xavier Brown and Dejon Lee yet. All right, they're definitely not in the territory of Leonard Moore and Christian Gray yet. Talk to me in October. Talk to me in November. That discussion may be totally different. I expect it to be totally different, okay? But you know how I am. You know how Bama Brooks gets when he starts talking about this Crimson Tide. Everything's just glory, glory, glory. What do you think their liability is, Kirby? Because it's obvious. I think it's offensive line and running backs. Just running game in general. I don't think they're good enough at running back right now.
No.
They might be in 12 months, but I don't think they are right now. Daniel Hill, I would say, is okay. He's serviceable. You think he's serviceable running back? What do you think about Daniel Hill? Number 4.
I think he'll be fine. I think that they're not going to be elite at the running position. I think that's been established kind of under Kalen DeBoer, unfortunately, right now. It doesn't seem like the running game is going to get a lot better there. I think the biggest liability in that, because at a certain point you come to expect that they're not going to run the football as efficiently as they need to be. I think the biggest liability is I don't know if you're going to have a Superman-esque quarterback this year. And that's what's kind of required for Alabama to win the games that they have. Like, you don't go on that 4-game win streak against ranked opponents unless Ty Simpson is playing out of his mind. Mm-hmm. And you saw what happened when Ty Simpson wasn't playing out of his mind last year. Alabama fell off significantly. You can go back to 2024. When Jalen Miller was at his best, that offense is terrifying. Problem was there were a handful of games where Jalen Miller was not playing very good, and the team significantly suffered because of it. So I think that it's going to require, with the current setup and the current personnel that Alabama has on the offensive side of football right now, it's going to require some heroic efforts from whoever the starting quarterback may be, and I just don't know if they have that in them this year.
I don't know of a single, maybe Dante Moore. I don't know of a single college quarterback last year that could have done what Ty Simpson did behind that offensive line and with no run game.
Yeah,
and controlled the way he controlled, stacked plays the way that he did, was efficient, and made great decisions on a down-to-down basis. I don't know if anybody could have done that. The Xavier Crowell kid, like, he is going to be really, really good. But he's supposed to be a senior in high school. And the idea that, like, all of our hopes and dreams at the running back position are relying on a 17-year-old freshman, I don't feel comfortable. And he might be that one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I would know. Weren't we banged up and in a boot for the spring game already? So, like, we haven't seen any college tape of him. I thought A.K. Deere was extremely disappointing last year for me. So there's a lot of projection into that room, and we didn't even talk about all the offensive line stuff that's getting revamped. Brand new offensive line coach. We're going to have, I think, 4 new starters on the offensive line. Michael Carroll, the only returning starter. Alabama fans, fix me if I'm wrong here. I'm probably missing a guy. But, I mean, damn, there is a lot of turnover in a group that was already bad last year, even with the 12th overall pick. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins for falling for the Proctor mess. Proctor propagandized, unfortunately, there. All right, let's move on to the Georgia Bulldogs, Kirby. I think Kirby Smart is the answer for biggest strength. I know that's a cop-out, but if I didn't go there, I'd have to say line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think they're damn good on the offensive line and the defensive line this year.
Yeah, I think that their biggest strength is going to be the amount of returning production they have and the fact that they have an extremely efficient offense that plays well to its identity. Georgia is a run-first offense, a run-to-set-the-past offense. Gunnar Stockton, the running back room they have, certainly placates that. So I think that's going to be their biggest strength this year is just the returning production combined with the offensive efficiency that they have.
Yeah, so the offensive efficiency could lead almost into a liability. Are they explosive enough? Which is my liability question about Georgia this year. If they have to score 40 in January, are they going to be able to do it?
Yeah, and I think that's why I have the defense as their liability, which, surprise, surprise. I mean, that's shocking to hear that a Kirby Smart team, a Georgia football team, has a defense as a liability. Everyone brings up, like, if Georgia has to score 40. Georgia's been asked to score 40 more times in the last 2 years than they ever have to win football games. That's not an offensive issue. The defense has steadily been eroding. So they return a lot of production this year, and that's great. That's what we think one of their biggest strengths is. But I'm not confident to say that Georgia's going to have an elite top 5 defense this year, and I think that's what their biggest liability is right now.
I'm confident in projecting them to have a top 10 defense this year. I think they're going to be really, really good on the defensive side of the football. But, like you mentioned, it's been par for the course almost for them to blip a random bad day. You know what I mean? And that you mentioned it last night. The idea that Georgia gave up 40-plus points 3 times last year alone to me is unfathomable. I can't quite.
It was 30, but
30.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was damn near 43 times.
Should have, yeah.
Ole Miss got them 35 at home, and then they definitely scored 45 in the Sugar Bowl, and then Tennessee scored north of 40. So,
they third 39 in the Sugar Bowl. So,
either way, that I still can't wrap my head around that, you know. And if that happens this year, are you explosive enough offensively to go score 42 points if you have to win a football game? And I don't put it past them to have at least one of those.
Yeah, I mean,
and I just told you I think they're going to be a damn good defense this year, but everyone's due for a bad day at some point.
Yeah, and that's fine. We saw, like, if Georgia had bad days last year, Gunnar Stockton, that offense was able to do it. Gunnar Stockton, that offense, like you just said, scored 40 against Ole Miss, scored 40 against Tennessee. Couldn't quite do it against Ole Miss in the second go round. So we know that the offense is somewhat capable of doing that at least. They're not going to give you 40 points every single game. But if things do go to where, hey, we kind of need Gunnar Stockton to step up, they can do it. The defense shouldn't be allowing that many opportunities, though. It's a Georgia Kirby Smart defense.
All right, let's move on to the Hurricanes down there in South Beach. What do you think their biggest strength is, Kirby? Because for me, it is the net delta difference between their roster and the rest of their schedules apart from Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the similar stratosphere as you, as they will be the most dominant line of scrimmage team on both sides of the ball within their conference. And when you can control the line of scrimmage, it's the old adage, you will win football games. So it makes complete sense to me that Miami would probably be the ACC favorite. Miami will probably win a bunch of games this year because we know Mario Cristobal is a line of scrimmage player or a line of scrimmage coach. They're going to be great at that regard.
Hey, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button right now. Take a quick second, hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate you for being here. We got some good numbers on a Tuesday in the middle of July. I need you guys to slam that like button for me so we can find some new folks in here. And again, if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, people are getting randomly unsubscribed from our network. Don't let that be you. Make sure you are subscribed here to the Film Guy Network. Let's go to liability. A lot of turnover at the offensive line position for Miami this year. Probably going to be starting a true freshman to Jackson Cantwell. He's damn good, though. He's going to be all right. And Alex Mirabal, Mario Cristobal, probably the best tandem of minds in the offensive line world that we have in terms of head coach, offensive line coach. Like I know Brent Key's a really, really good mind as an offensive line guy, but his offensive line coach is not Alex Mirabal. You know what I'm saying? This would be like, I don't even know who would you argue is the best defensive backs coach in college football, but that would be like him being Georgia's corners coach. You know what I mean?
Right.
With Kirby Smart, the head coach. This is what they have down there in Miami. I wonder if he's so damn good. I wonder if Alex Mirabal ever wants to be a head coach, or if this is just what it's going to be, because they played high school football together. Like, they're lifers, and he's down in his, like, they're from South Florida. They are Miami people, so I don't know if he's ever going to leave. But it sounds crazy to say that might be the only question. But the only real one I got is tight end. Like, are y'all good enough at tight end? Are y'all as good as everybody else at tight end? But do you even need to be? Like, you have Malachi Toney, you have Cooper Barkate, you have Mark Fletcher, you have two other great backs that I'm missing names on right now, Arroyo and the freshman from Florida, I think Naples, so like, or the sophomore now, he's a freshman last year, number 22, little jitterbug. They've got great players everywhere else offensively. I couldn't tell you what they got going on at tight end. I think Lofton's his last name, where's number 9, got knocked out last year against Ole Miss, but like, that's it. There's not a lot of questions. What is your liability for Miami?
My biggest
I know what you're going to do.
They've continuously found ways to lose games they shouldn't, which 2 years in a row now with teams that are far and away better than the teams they've lost to, that's a liability. When you go into to consistently like that, I'm concerned for Miami in that. Yeah, they're going to be more talented than basically every team they faced on the regular season schedule. You can't lose 2 games a season and expect to be like, they made the playoffs by the skin of their teeth last year. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to keep popping 10-2s, we can't have that, and that's a liability for Miami.
You know what? My therapist said it's good to pat yourself on the back every once in a while. How about the pull for Lofton, the tight end right there, Elijah Lofton? That is indeed his name. I was almost guaranteed to football brain that, but I got it right. So how about that? Yeah, that would be my only concern about it. I mean, they're damn good on defensive line again. They rebuilt it. They're damn good at linebacker. They brought the 17th-year senior back from Rutgers that transferred. That dude played, I think, 4 years at Rutgers. He's going to play 2 years at Miami as well. I think he was a 2019 high school graduate.
Jeez, it's older than me.
So, yeah, he's back and played really, really well last year. A lot of turnover at safety, but they had young corners last year that played for him as well. But I get what you're saying. I think that's probably the safest bet. Is just like, hey, man, like, you were twice as good on paper as SMU last year and found a way to lose that football game. Now, I don't think Darian Mensah is the turnover machine that Carson Beck ultimately turned into. 24 picks the last 2 years of college football. I don't know if Mensah is going to rack it up like that.
Probably not, but I would say that Cam Ward was not the turnover machine that Carson Beck was, and they still lost 2 regular season games against. Like, this goes back a far enough way. It's like, this is a problem at Miami. Mm-hmm. This wasn't a one-off thing.
That's fair. Let's go to Ohio State, Kirby. I'll let you start off with the strengths, because I can almost guarantee you don't have what I have.
I think the strength, and this is kind of an interesting one for me because they did have so much overturn on this side of the football. They're going to have an elite defense at Ohio State, and they do get the benefit of the doubt in certain areas simply because they are Ohio State. That brand does hold weight. I think they are once again going to be a very elite defense. Might not be as good as they were last year, but think of what you saw from Georgia in 2022 versus 2021. Obviously not the same defense, but will still be very, very strong, very, very good. I think they'll be one of the best in the Big Ten. I think that's going to be their main strength.
I don't know if I've ever seen a defensive end room like this, apart from maybe what Oregon's got going on right now.
It's pretty stacked.
Kenyatta Jackson and Bo Atkinson are going to be their 2 starters. When those guys need breathers, they're going to bring on Zion Grady and Quay Rousseau. Yeah, people listening today, do you know that Quay Rousseau is a Ohio State Buckeye? You probably did. You're probably just going, oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, he's a specialty pass rusher up there at Ohio State this year. I mean, talking about rich. How rich could we get right there in the defensive end room? And that doesn't account for the defensive tackles that obviously they've recruited at a really, really high rate because Larry Johnson is elite. So there is that. What's your liability for him? Because for me, the idea that Ohio State – and look, I know Indiana was really good last year, and I know Miami was really, really good last year, and Ruben Bain and Messidor were great football players. But the idea that Ohio State walked and finished their last 2 games last year, allowing 10 sacks, 5 in each game against Indiana and Miami, and they basically return the same offensive line in its core, that scares me. Because they're going to face some freaks this year too. Like I looked at the schedule today. They got to play Texas, Indiana, and Oregon. And Ohio State fans will go, well, we boxed Colin Simmons' ass. Y'all didn't box that defense's ass. No, you did not. So, like, that worries me a lot about what Ohio State's got going on. How can you be a national championship winner, which is what the expectations are at a program like this, if you can't block?
Yeah, no, I think we're kind of in similar areas where the offense is my biggest liability for them. I don't know, for as much as everyone talks about how, hey, if Georgia's got to score 40, I don't know if Ohio State's got it in them to score 40 if they need be. Like, if you look at their biggest games last year, versus Texas, they put up 14 points. Versus Indiana, I think they put up 10 points. Versus Miami, put up 14 points. Like, they were able to coast in a lot of games and score freely, and I understand that Jeremiah Smith is the best receiver that college football might have ever seen, and from the prospect standpoint, their offense has not been very explosive, or at least good enough when they face good defenses. So that's my worry for them, because we're not going to be able to score 14, 10, 17 points in college football playoff games and expect to win. That's my liability for them.
Kirby, Ohio State was held under 80 yards rushing 3 times last year.
Yeah.
That is insane. That's not okay. That's not okay at all. Including 58 yards against Indiana and 45 yards against Miami. And you'll say, oh, well, they allowed a bunch of sacks in those games. Those count against rushing. Kind of the point. Really, really worried about the offensive line out there at Ohio State. Yes, you have to account for growth. You have to account for these guys simply got better, and I'm opening the door for that possibility. But it has to happen. It's going to have to happen because we talked about it to close the show last night. Hey, Julian Sand's not this super freak athlete, guys. It's not like, oh, my God, pockets are collapsing. Don't worry, 10's going to take care of it. No, if the pocket collapsed, and it's a sack. Let's start back at 2nd and 17. That's a good way to kill drives on a really, really consistent basis. Let's move on to the Big Ten champion last year and the national champion, the Indiana Hoosiers. Did I do that right?
Probably.
I think I did.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I mean, they are going to be one of the most disciplined football teams you will see in college football. And I think it's going to be that way under Kurt Cignetti so long as he stays the coach there. Like, they have a machine there, and they do not make mistakes. They do not beat themselves. It is a fantastic trait to have, especially when you're in close games, especially when you're in a one-score game against Ohio State, especially when you're in a one-score game trailing Penn State on the road. Not making mistakes is why Indiana won a national championship last season. I think they're going to have those similar traits this year.
I mean, Jonathan sitting at home on the couch tagging us in insane thumbnails. I guess he was – is the thumbnail that crazy? I don't think the thumbnail's that crazy. I think the thumbnail is facts. Straight up sold it for pennies out here.
Yeah.
We got you. Jay Will's going to show up anyways because he's good at his job. But shout out to Jay Will. Shout out Stretch. I think that's why our cameras keep crashing.
Why is that?
Stretch's good mojo's not over the keyboards over there.
I don't know if it's a mojo thing. I think it's these computers.
I was just trying to give him some mojo cred.
He knows he's good at what he does.
You nailed it with the strength of Indiana. It's obviously the fact that their execution rates are extremely high, but more importantly, they return a lot of the core of that defense from last year. Yeah, Pons is gone. Aiden Fisher's gone. Kamara, the edge rusher's gone. But all they did was steal 2, really good football players from K-State. Oh, they also got Burnham, the kid from Notre Dame that was a highly rated recruit, didn't really get on the field, probably wasn't going to get on the field this year again at Notre Dame because the big, tall, 6'7" edge rusher is really, really good out there. So they threw a lot of bodies at a position where they lost a lot of bodies as well. But 21 comes back, 95 comes back, 48 or 46 comes back, 22 the safety comes back. Like they return a lot of this defense that was damn good last year, and of course they return both coordinators. So I think the defense is going to be really, really scary yet again. And I will take this opportunity to remind you one more time, that was a defensive-led national champion.
Yep,
that was a defensive-led national championship. They allowed 27 points once. They allowed only 3 teams all year last year to have 3 scoring drives. That includes field goals, by the way. Just 3 football teams all year were able to march the football down the field and have a successful drive that ended in a kick 3 times. Insane. Incredible defense. Now, I will say this. I thought they got off to a relatively mediocre like slow start, or at least had these random blips last year that I don't think they're necessarily going to be afforded this year. I don't know if you remember, Kirby, but Old Dominion week 1 kind of gave them a scare. It's like 27-14. If you watch that game, that's like a 14-10 ball game with Indiana failing to move the football well into the third.
Yeah, they definitely weren't the most exciting team to start out, and I think that was kind of just maybe slow starts. It was interesting definitely in the beginning of the season.
You want to hear good news?
What's that?
You want to hear their first 6 games? North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky, Northwestern, Rutgers, and Nebraska.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
They'll be all right. They get to walk into that one. So, yeah, don't really have to grind it out in fall camp this year. They never really do. But don't have to really grind it out and work a lather, because you're going to get 6 preseason games before you welcome Ohio State Game 7 into town. So that's good for you guys. Let's move on to Texas Tech.
They never did liabilities.
Oh, my bad. No, I thought the liability was attrition and new parts. My bad. I skipped over and went to the schedule talk. But, yeah, no. The liability is the fact that we had a ton of attrition at keynote positions offensively particularly, and we got some new parts.
Yeah, and I also think it's worth noting that you might run into some complacency here. You might run into some comfortability. Like, this is a fan base, this is a program, this is a team that has never won, never even sniffed this much success in college football history. And I'm not saying that will happen, but it's certainly something to watch out for. We even mentioned it yesterday of how, like, Kurt Signe seems to be smiling more. He seems to be out doing more media things. He's more jovial. Like, could not be an issue at all. They could turn around and win another national title this year, but it's definitely a liability, especially when you're a program that's not considered a have in the college football world.
We saw one of their players at the Combine last year before the season. It was like an early invitee. I think he was either there for that, meeting agents, or he was just there because Bloomington's not far from Indianapolis. I think it's only about 45 minutes. My geography's been awful on this channel, historically awful lately. But he was down there, and I was like, hey, what's the SIG guy like? What's Signetti like? And the kid looked at me and was like, I don't ever see him.
Yeah.
He's never around the team. He's just in his office watching film all the time. So, hey, maybe we lose a little bit of our film grinding because we're out here doing hits, you know? It happens to me. I would imagine it happens to the head coach. I'm just, all jokes aside, he's a damn good football coach that finds it in the film, and I admire that, obviously. Obviously, I would admire something like that. Let's move on to Texas Tech. Kirby, what do you got?
I mean, it's pretty obvious what their best quality is going to be. You are the most talented team in your conference. You have the easiest path to the college football playoff out of any of the teams in the nation, I think. So that's going to be Texas Tech's biggest strength.
Kirby, what do you think? What do you think about this? If I said Texas Tech spent $40 million on their roster this year,
okay,
how many of their opponents do you think I could take their total roster value and add together before I get to $40 million?
Ooh. Do you actually have an answer to this, or am I just having?
No. Just I don't have an answer because I don't know how much money are actually on these rosters. But
I would say probably you could get, depending on who you select, you get about probably 7 or 8 before you get to.
If we like Houston's probably their toughest game on their schedule this year.
Yes.
I know Houston's roster's anywhere from $14 to $17 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big gap.
Yeah, it's more than 2x.
Yeah. So yeah, I bet you could add. I bet you could take Houston and put them in their own little category, and then take the rest of their schedule, add it up, and you might not get to $40 million total roster value.
Yeah,
that's their biggest strength
for sure.
They are so much better on paper and more funded than everybody else in their conference by a wide margin.
And I think it'll also be their biggest liability.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I think we talk about bag groceries all the time on this network. The potential that you might have bought bag groceries when you went to the store. And this is a football program that's going to the store every single year. And last year when they went to the market, buddy, did they hit home run after home run, right? David Bailey from Stanford, absolute rocket ship, right? First round draft pick, top 5 pick. Romello Height, brought him over from Georgia Tech, paid him a lot of money. He was a bang-up sign, right? Like, that was an incredible football player from that last year. And yeah, David Bailey got all the attention, but Romello Height was rushing his butt off for 4 quarters every single time he turned on the tape. Lee Hunter was arguably the best defensive tackle, certainly in the Big 12. I would put him top 5 defensive tackle, especially nose tackle in the sport, period, last year. They took him off of UCF's roster. Question, Kirby, any idea where they bought groceries from this year? Again, Stanford, Georgia Tech, UCF. Where do you think they bought groceries this year?
They probably had some more Power 4 or non-Power 4 teams that they bought from.
They went straight P4 last year for their big-time dudes. This year, hey, we got an edge rusher from Miami of Ohio.
Oh.
We got an edge rusher from San Diego State. We got a defensive tackle from Washington that had 12 total tackles last year.
Uh-oh.
We got a defensive tackle from Wake Forest, okay? They didn't go big fish hunting. Now, I'm sure they paid these guys lots of money. I'm sure they're great. The 6'2", 230-pound edge rusher from San Diego State had a lot of sacks last year in the Mountain West or whatever they're playing out there at San Diego State. The kid from Miami of Ohio, I'm sure had great sack production last year in the MAC. I don't know. I don't know if we're just immediately going to come over to a Power 4 conference and just like, yep, those guys are worth 1.2 or whatever I paid them. That could be a very, very strong possibility that, hey, maybe we bought bad groceries. Maybe we projected that these guys would be good when in reality they're probably not. Like, guys, David Bailey was a top 50 prospect coming out of high school in Mater Dei. Like, there wasn't a lot of projection there, okay? He had statistical production at Stanford, okay, as well. So there wasn't a lot of, hey, maybe this. Lee Hunter was an all Big 12 second teamer at UCF the year that they stole him. So it wasn't like there was a lot of projection going on in these signees. This year, there's a ton of projection, and that could be absolutely a liability on that Texas Tech roster, apart from the fact that, they kind of lost their starting quarterback midway through June. We've talked enough about that, though. Let's go on to Oregon, Kirby. What do you got for me?
I think Oregon's best quality is honestly going to be their quarterback.
Okay.
And the fact that they have Dan Lanning, who is a coach that is traditionally a hard-nosed, physical guy, combined with the fact that they figured things out in the regular season for the most part. Since they got to the Big 12, or the Big 10, they went 12-0 in 2024. They had one loss last year, which was to the eventual national champion in the regular season. They win games in the regular season. They're going to figure things out, and they will have what we all probably think coming into the season is one of the top 3 best quarterbacks in the country right now. I think that there's a lot of things to be positive about. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. They have a lot of strengths. I'm going to go with Dante Moore and the fact that it's a Dan Lanning team with a Dan Lanning defense.
It is the defense. Both defensive ends are great. Both of their backups are damn good. I like 4 of their defensive tackles. Watching their spring game was like, oh my God, how did you keep all of this? How did you keep all of these football players, get them to come back, first of all? Like, Mateo probably would have been a top 50 pick last year in the NFL draft. Like, the idea that a lot of these guys are coming back to college football is rather crazy to me. Probably cost a good bit of money. Brandon Finney is great. Coy Parrish, the transfer from Minnesota, former 5-star, highest-rated football player in the history of Minnesota football, probably going to be a playmaker for this defense. You would imagine they find ways to make him really, really good. The liability is glaring to me. And I know a lot of people listening to this segment are probably going to go, oh, Dan Lanning's mishaps in big games or the inexplicable random blowouts, probably. Did you put that down on your list?
I did not.
Okay. The liability for me, and we've talked about this ad nauseum on this network over the years, they didn't just in-house promote one coordinator.
Yep.
They in-house promoted 2
That's my
coordinators.
liability.
That scares me, man. That really, really scares me. We got first-time play callers on both sides of the football. In-house promotions normally don't go all that well in this sport.
And that's not the only reason I have his liability. I don't think you can keep just hitting threes, which is essentially what Dan Lanning has been doing with these recent hires. Like Will Stein worked out glowingly. Who he had before that in the offense? Kenny Dillingham, glowing success. I don't know if you can go 3 for 3 with just, all right, this guy's gone, we got to get a new one in.
Yeah, Lupoy was obviously a great first hire on the defensive side of the football,
exactly.
too. So, I mean, we said he must have figured something out with these offensive hires being a defensive guy. So maybe we give him the benefit of the doubt, but that's not what he did this time.
Right.
This time he's just like, hey, you guys work good together. You and Dante, just boom, there we go. You're the new OC. I'm cool with it defensively because I would imagine if it gets bad enough, Dan's just going to go call the plays.
Yeah,
and we're fine. Like, it's going to be okay. But offensively, it's just like, whew. That is a little bit much for me. Chat saying DC's called plays before. Great, awesome. I misspoke. That's an ignorant thing on my end, but still worries me. In-house promotion, period, is very, very scary in college football. It normally doesn't work, and I would love for a list of examples where it would or it did, because I can't for the life of me pick one off the top of my head. Where we promoted a guy that was on staff in-house. By the way, I feel this way about Texas A&M's offensive coordinator hire too. It's like we just promoted the wide receivers coach. Okay, y'all are at a big program with a lot of money. Why didn't y'all open that up for some type of, I don't know, interview process?
I mean, are you counting Mike Bobo then? That's an in-house hire.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that's gone glowingly. It's gone serviceably, but it's not like he's reinventing Georgia offense right now.
No.
And it's a contentious point.
Definitely.
For a lot of people.
Definitely.
So I know you just tried to pit the Bobo defender into a corner right there, but no, I would say it hasn't been an A++.
That's fair. I mean, that's, yeah.
And for the University of Georgia and the resources that they have, they probably could have opened that up to an A++ hire.
Okay, what about Schumann then?
That's an A+ hire.
Okay.
There you go. So about it.
I'm sure there's more.
I would love chat to help me out here. So basically just all Georgia examples is what people are throwing at me
well,
right
it's just I think the majority of Georgia fans.
Oh, I know, but it's just like, I think I might have just got myself in trouble. I'm probably going to get some phone calls by the end of the night. Let's go on. Who we got next? Notre Dame?
I believe it is Notre Dame, yes.
Let's talk Notre Dame. What do you got for me?
I think their best quality is going to be they probably will have one of the better quarterbacks in the country. I put them in the same area with like Oregon and Dante Moore of like, hey, we think CJ Carr is going to be a fantastic quarterback this year, combined with the fact that they have a fairly manageable schedule. Not fairly. They have a manageable schedule. It is a very 11-1able schedule. If you go 10-2, you had a down year at Notre Dame. So I think those are the two strengths that they have.
I put their schedule down as a postseason liability because we're only going to have really like 1.5 tests.
Yeah.
We are not really going to be war-hardened by the time we get to the college football playoff, which they will be there unless they find a way to lose to both Miami and BYU.
But, I mean, that also could be a strength of theirs because while all these other teams are playing 9-game conferences and beating the shit out of each other, we've been able to coast. We've been resting all of our stars. Now, that doesn't always work out. I think Ohio State's an example of why this didn't work out. But being a fresh team in the playoff can't be an advantage.
So I got two tandems. You mentioned CJ Carr.
Yep.
But the pairing of him and Denbrock together again for a second year, I thought Mike Denbrock last year did one of the better jobs of coordinating for a young quarterback that you would see outside of game one against Miami. I thought we were a little conservative, which rightfully so. I mean, that defense was insane last year for Miami, and you had a first-time starting quarterback and a young one in CJ Carr. So, yeah, I think Marcus Freeman had the quote of, we got to get our young guy a lot of free access throws to start this football game. Hard to do. Hard to do against a team like Miami that's rallying to the football and running around like they were to start the season and to close the season. But Leonard Moore and Christian Gray already talked about Notre Dame chat. A member in here mentioned that Gray might have bumped inside because they got a transfer from Colorado out there. So maybe they got 3 super freaks at corner. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. But the liabilities to me is not knowing who I am, like not knowing what we are in the heat of a battle. When we only really have 2 of them.
Yeah, I think the liabilities that I don't know what that running game is going to look like. And it's just I've hammered it a lot now. I think losing 2,000 yards and almost 30 touchdowns of total offense combined with the player as dynamic as Jeremiah Love, that does a detriment to you. And I don't think they're going to replace that production this year.
Here's a hot take. If you and I were the tandem at Notre Dame this year at running back, with that offensive line and that schedule, we'd average 120 yards rushing a game. Not a piece, but total. That running back in Notre Dame is good enough to fall forward for 5. And that's what's going to be available at a really, really frequent rate. Also because you're not just going to be able to load boxes and play man-to-man against Notre Dame this year like you have the last 4 years. They have wide receivers. They have guys that can go and guys that can win and a quarterback that can slice you up. So the idea of just hey, we're going to play plus counts in the run game against Notre Dame today and just take that away. No, you're not. No, you're not. In fact, you're probably going to have to revert and change everything you think about defending Notre Dame offense this year because of the explosivity in their passing attack that I think is ultimately going to be there. Let's talk about Texas, Kirby. Their strength is the entire roster being flawless.
Yeah, that's what literally I have.
That is the strength.
Pound for pound, the most talented roster in the sport.
Yeah.
No debate.
Oregon close second?
Maybe.
Oregon close second. I think they need to be talked about in this discussion when you actually go position by position and look at that roster. But damn, Texas is flawless. They have no problems on their roster at all. You can't point to one. They're great everywhere on paper. Here's the liability. Sark might find a way to lose 3 games on that schedule. It just might happen. Whether it be injury or, I don't know, just not showing up against Florida or whatever it may be. That Sark is very, very able to find 3 losses on that schedule. That would be the main concern going into this.
Yeah, I don't know if I would blame that as much as Sark is the liability for me is all of this talent we talked about. All on paper, it might not add up to what we expect it to be. Everyone's assuming Cam Coleman is going to be just an unstoppable wide receiver this year. Maybe. He might not be, though. Everyone's expecting Arch Manning to look like the number 1 overall pick this year. Might not live up to that hype. Everyone's expecting Will Muschamp to take over this defense and to make it one of the best in the nation. That might not happen as well. So the liability for me is that combined with the fact that the offensive line, I think, could still cause problems. Last year was a massive issue for Texas. It kind of got Arch Manning rattled. So that's my liability.
That's not a real quote, is it?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Julian Lewis was asked today what the biggest difference is, and he said last year we weren't looking at defenses. We were just high school, free balling, just playing football.
Well, I guess I know what we can talk about on Thursday.
That would be a liability. Let's go on to Ole Miss. What do you got for me, Curb?
How many more of these do we want to do?
Oh, we're doing them all. Yeah, I know we're already into it. I know we're already into the local hour, but it is what it is. You Georgia fans, a lot of these guys you're going to play, like Ole Miss. What is the biggest strength and liability that they got going on? We got 5 more, so let's just get after it.
I think they're going to be one of the most dynamic quarterback-running back duos in college football, and they will have a chip on their shoulder to a certain degree as well because the Lane Kiffin thing is still very much a sore subject in Oxford, and they will certainly be looking to deal out revenge this way in this season. So I think that will be 2 of their strengths this year.
You forgot Deuce Alexander, the wide receiver. He's really, really good. I would add him into that because I know that a lot of the Ole Miss discussion gets brought up Trinidad, Kewan. Then we hard stop the offensive firepower. But Deuce Alexander is going to go for a rack this year, I can guarantee it. Liability is everything else offensively. All of the other losses. Lost the left tackle, lost the offensive coordinator, lost the head coach who had a lot to do with the offense, lost the quarterback's coach, lost the running back's coach. Just a ton of losses offensively. Lost 5 of the top 6 receivers from a year ago. Just a ton on that side of the football. Let's go to Texas A&M, Kirby. I know you might not have gotten your liability for Ole Miss. Give me both the strength and the liability here for A&M.
I think A&M's going to be a really well-rounded team this year. I think that they have a lot of – I think the Isaiah Horton acquisition was a massive get for them. They needed someone who's kind of in a similar X vein. I think having 2 elite slot receivers like they did last year was good for them. Not necessarily great. I think they're going to be a very well-rounded team. The liability that I have is Marcel Reed. I don't know if he's going to progress enough for you to be a national championship team, especially with Colin Klein no longer calling plays there. I think that you're going to have to kind of reset the offense, and I don't know if Marcel Reed can take that next step where we're scoring more than 3 points in a college football playoff game, or if we get outdueled by an Arch Manning. Stuff like that I think is their liability.
Sorry, I'm correcting chat right now. Daquan Wright was the 4th leading receiver for Ole Miss last year. He was the tight end. Now Caleb Odom's on the roster, but he is not what he wasn't the best tight end or most used tight end in the room last year. He's a really good football player though. Texas A&M defensive physicality will be their biggest strength. I think they're going to be really, really tough to move at all. I think liability would be off. OC turnover scares me a lot with in-house promotion. And I didn't think they were all that great offensively on a consistent basis last year at times. So, and I'm a little jaded because I just got done watching the Texas film from their one loss in the regular season last year. Let's go to Oklahoma, Kirby. To me, I think their biggest strength is obviously Brent Brett and the defensive side of the football. I find it hard to believe that if I were an offensive coordinator going into a matchup against Oklahoma, home or away, that I'm just like, yeah, we got 30 points on the board today. Don't worry about it, guys. We're going to score. I wouldn't feel good about that. It would scare the piss out of me, the idea that we're going to play that defense. And that's going to be my sentiment about Brett probably in perpetuity moving forward, especially with the way that they recruit now out there at Oklahoma. I don't know. I'm scratching my brain for, liability is offensive firepower at the wide receiver position in particular. And do we get better on the offensive line? Now, here's the deal. They started and played 3 freshmen last year. It was Fasusi, Eddie Pierre-Louis, and then the right guard, number 70, was a freshman as well. Mm-hmm. All of those guys took their lumps last year. All of those guys we expect to get much, much better this year. So maybe the offensive line improves like we need it to be what we're expected to be. But I don't know if I'm like all that sold that Parker Livingston's going to be some answer as an X receiver. I know Satania's back, and that's great. I know they invested in some transfers at the tight end position, but do we have enough in the weaponry department at Oklahoma would be my concern.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have.
On top of consistent play from the quarterback.
Right, and that's kind of what I have for both of these, where they're going to be in a fantastic defense this year, but if you need to score 30 points, John Mateer might give you 17. John Mateer might give you 2 turnovers one day. They might not be able to run the football like they need to be an elite competitor. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of the liabilities for Oklahoma, which is kind of what they were last year, honestly.
How about LSU?
I would say that their biggest strength is that they are a reinvigorated team, fan base, and just program that has a offensive mastermind behind the wheel right now. And they got a ton of new talented pieces. Like, we can say what we want about Sam Leavitt. He's going to be a dynamic quarterback for them. He's going to make plays. I think they're going to be pretty decent on the defensive side of the football. I know that Lane Kiffin's never been well known for that. So I think that there's a lot to be excited for if you're an LSU fan as far as strengths go.
Is it fair to say their strength and liability could both be Lane Kiffin?
Definitely. I think Lane Kiffin's been his own worst enemy his entire career.
We can end it at that. 54 minutes of dog talk coming up next after a short break.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? Really like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
You guys absolutely kill me with the giving me shit for not going a full hour in the local hour, man. We're grinding, man. We got a lot to talk about out here. I'm sorry. We love the dogs. I mean, I don't know of anybody doing it the way that we do it nationally like we are now. Is there any national platform that hasn't just sold out and gone all national college football and doesn't give you an entire at least 55 minutes of your favorite football team that, by the way, made us? Thank you, by the way. Like, without the Georgia fan base, like this place doesn't exist. So very, very thankful. And I know probably a bit of it is a troll. Like, I think they're just giving us crap, and I appreciate that as well. But damn, man, like, we've made a lot of sacrifices making sure that we continue to talk this here dog. A lot. And I don't know if you're privy to all of them, but this would be the opportunity for you to accentuate that point.
Oh, I didn't realize that was what you wanted me to do. Sorry.
Welcome to our local hour. Do you want to drive? I got notes to drive it.
Yeah, go ahead and give them the notes.
Hey, we got old game notes tonight. Kirby watched an old football game. Again, one of my favorite segments of the offseason ever created on this network. We got 2026 late bloomers. Football players that we think by the end of the year, as true freshmen, might crack the lineup and play pivotal roles a la Rayshawn Dinkins from a year ago. We're going to play Guess That Dog.
Yes, we are.
I didn't take the notes on Guess That Dog. I'm guessing you're throwing the Guess the Dog at me?
I've got 3.
That a boy. Who's claiming the number? I like this segment as well. You're cooking on this local hour. And we're going to attribute max tonight. Did I say that correctly? We're going to do some attribute maxing. We're going to do some attribute maxing. All right. Let's start with this late bloomers segment. First of all, let's start by asking you to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't liked this video yet, come on. I need you to like the video. We got over 300 people watching right now on the live view. Come on, hit that like button. If you're watching this on rewatch, thank you, dedicated Film Guy listener. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button as well. Who by year's end is going to crack this lineup and play a pivotal role? I do want to say, first and foremost, there are 3 true freshmen that game 1 will impact this football team.
Right.
Maybe even start. Zakai Helton, Caden Prothro, and Boogie Green. Automatically. There's no projection. We know for a fact those guys will impact this roster.
Yeah, I didn't have any of those 3 on my list because, like we said, they're not going to be late bloomers. They're going to be the freshmen that make plays in the first 3 games. They're going to be the KJ Boltons.
Already blossomed.
The Malachi Starks, the Brock Bowers, the guys that immediately flash, I think Craig Dandridge is a guy that could make a bunch of plays for you late. And for that matter, Landon Rolden as well, where the wide receiver room is going to need to have players step up this year. It's very obvious that there is a Zachariah Branch size hole in that unit right now. There's some solid players. There's some solid talent. I think you're going to see a couple of plays in Game 6 or Game 7 or 8 where, oh my God, Craig Dandridge, that guy's really good. Or Landon Rolden's finally making plays on that. So I think those are 2 guys that could be late bloomers on the offensive side of the football.
Did you mention Craig Dandridge? I think you just did.
Yes.
Yeah, I think by year's end, Kirby, there's going to be at least one explosive drawn up for him every single week.
I believe it.
And I think there's a possibility that somebody in that slot explosive weapon room gets banged up. I mean, when was the last time a sub 200-pound wide receiver survived the entire season for the University of Georgia?
Last
Arian
year,
Smith, 24?
Zachariah Branch.
Hey, he's thick, dude. That's not the body type I'm talking about. I'm talking
You're
about
talking like skinny rail guys?
I'm talking about rail thin, twitchy, vertical guys. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Arian Smith in 2024 might be the best example of that. And even then, he
left out games.
Well, not only that, he had a laundry list of injuries in the lead up to 2024 was the only year where you got a full healthy Arian Smith. So yeah, that body type and style does not necessarily make it the whole entire season, and you're gonna have injuries. It's not a surprise. Injuries happen. Colby Young, who I would say is not a rail thin body type, broke his leg last year, and I know that Noah Thomas, the time that he had with Georgia, didn't necessarily live up to the hype, but he was a late bloomer. His best plays came in the back half of the season. So there's absolutely room in the wide receiver room to be late bloomers.
Guys, Jack Saint's – Marcus Wasimi Jack Saint was 210 pounds, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
He's
bigger.
6'3". He's a big body. I mean, he was almost like a George Pickens-esque body type, not
for sure
a Taylor body type.
No.
Which is what we're kind of pigeonholing these guys into. I'm going to stick at wide receiver. I think there's an opportunity Ryan Mosley earns burn by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think so.
He didn't really have the spring game that I thought he was going to have. Maybe just didn't have any opportunities. I can't remember him playing in the spring game now that I think about it. I know he didn't have a catch, did he?
Oh, man, the spring game is so far removed, and I don't have any there's no statistics to find on there. Like the ones that Georgia gives you. Maybe. It's hard to remember, but I don't think so. I don't think he was a major contributor.
No, but the sourcing was raving about him. Sources were raving about Ryan Mosley. Even before spring practice started, the offseason workouts in January were like, oh, my God, we got one. Another, I think, 3-star in the 2026 class was Ryan Mosley. So, yeah, I expect him to, at some point, get some playing time. I think Ekene Ogboko will play.
Yeah.
He has had rapid growth and development and needed it. I mean, it wasn't the cleanest of prospects coming out, but you could see it. The ceiling was absolutely through the roof, was this prospect. And he's going to, it sounds like, meet those expectations of what we think he's ultimately going to be, especially by year's end. I think his playing time will ultimately depend on health at the position, right? Like, they've got 3 damn good tackles, one great one.
Yes.
Juan Gaston, Jaw Jackson, and Ernest Green. The damn goods being Ernest Green. And maybe Jaw Jackson is good, damn good. They think he's going to be damn good. But the great one's Juan Gaston. And I will say it again because selfishly, I want this out there. I will be sad, and I texted sources today about this. I will be sad if I have to watch Juan Gaston play guard this year. If that big joker don't get to play the next 30 games before he's a top 5 pick at tackle, I'm going to be upset. I think we deserve to watch him potentially be the greatest of all time at the University of Georgia, because I think he could be. I don't know how you feel about Juan Gaston, but I watched it last year. Landon Tingwell, friend of the show, he texted me the other day and was like, oh, my God, this Juan Gaston kid. And I'm like, hey, preacher, I'm the choir here. And damn it, they going to make that kid play guard again this year. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it might happen. I don't want it to happen. I do not want him to be playing guard. And I know maybe it's the best for Georgia. I don't care. I want the best for me. And the best for me and the best for you is to get to watch Juan Gaston play tackle for the next 30 games, because he is potentially going to be a GOAT at that spot. And they've had a lot of good ones. He could be it, okay? I want to watch it. I want to watch that development. I want to see it happen. I want to watch that kid play tackle all year long. Kirby, Blake Stewart's going to be a really good player at Georgia. The safety out of Woodward, often forgotten in that 2026 class for some reason. Probably because he was a late addition.
Yeah.
You know, it was a late take, it felt like. But, yeah, Blake Stewart's going to play a lot of really, really good football for Georgia. He's just a really smart player, knows where he's supposed to be, instinctual, sound in all of his fundamentals. And I am explaining a Georgia defensive back. That's what they sound like. When we walk through the bullet points of playing for Kirby Smart, they start with that. And then they end with, he better run sub-11. He better be a freak, right? But he's got all of those, initial, I got to check these boxes for the University of Georgia. I'm expecting Blake Stewart to be really, really good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of those guys that again, you start seeing him make plays game 5, 6, and 7. I'm also going to put Braylon Conley on here. Based on what we saw in the spring, and I don't think he's going to take Ellis Robinson or DeMelo's spot, Georgia does do a 3-corner rotation. I know that last year Ellis and DeMelo kind of locked down those positions. You're still going to see a third player get some burn there. I would not be surprised if Braylon Conley makes plays multiple times this next season. So,
Chat's asking what happens if Drew Bobo goes down. Cortez Smith will slide right in, and he's damn good too. Cortez is going to be really, really good. Now, does Drew have another year after this? Is he a redshirt junior?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I'm going to look it up.
He might have one more, but
because if he does, he's coming back.
You would hope so.
I can almost guarantee it right now. If he has another year of eligibility, he will play at Georgia. He will do that. I mean, Drew's not going to be a top 90 pick.
Probably not, no.
Those are who sacrifices the last year of eligibility nowadays.
Right.
Like, you have to be guaranteed a top 90 pick. I don't think he is that yet. He might be by year's end. Somebody in our Discord chat sent a preseason magazine they were reading. I don't want to dime out the magazine. But somebody listed Daniel Calhoun. No disrespect to Daniel Calhoun. Listed Daniel Calhoun as the 4th rated interior offensive lineman entering the 2027 NFL draft.
Interesting.
And you know what I did? I screenshotted it and sent it to Georgia and said, this ought to be on your wall for pro recruiting stigmas. Hey, come to Georgia. Even if you never play a down and even if you might not be projected to start. Hell, even if a true freshman is projected to start, there will be national analysts that rank you as a top 5 offensive lineman entering next year's NFL draft. That's insane. Yeah, again, no disrespect to Daniel Calhoun, but Daniel Calhoun has not earned. He's a top 5 offensive lineman at the guard position in college football. How? How would you even project that? I don't know. Probably reading 2023 recruiting rankings. I don't know. Chat's already cooking it, so yeah, I don't have to. That was insane to me. Let's play Guess That Dog.
Let's do it.
Guess That Dog.
All right, I've got 3 for you, and I've split them up to ones that'll be hard and difficult. I'm going to give you a medium one right now. I was a Mark Richt commit when I joined the Georgia Bulldogs roster.
One more time? Sorry.
I was a Mark Richt commit when I joined the Georgia Bulldogs roster.
Okay. Oh. Out of high school.
Correct.
Okay, my bad.
I finished second on the team in tackles during the 2019 season.
Okay.
I have been accredited as one of the unsung heroes for a play that I made early in my career in a major Georgia football game.
That gives me nothing.
It'll make sense when we reveal it.
Okay. My mind's saying Monty Rice. I don't think this is it, though.
I never started a game at the position I was recruited to play.
Is this Tay Crowder?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We'll give it away.
A running back.
Yeah.
He's a running back out of high school.
And then the final
he was
one.
a running back the first 2 years at Georgia, wasn't he?
Correct. I think he switched. I don't think he switched over until Kirby got there in 2017.
Damn, I beat chat. Let's go.
Yeah. But no, the
dog knower.
I wanted to reference the onside kick in the Rose Bowl without being so blatant, because if I had said that, it would have given it away immediately. So yeah, Take her. Do you want to do another one?
What was the play?
The onside kick in the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, it wouldn't have given it away to me. I not in a bullet point form like that.
Really?
No. Now I remember.
Right.
Yeah. Now that we have gotten to Tay Crowder, but no, the onside kick deflection against Oklahoma wouldn't have tipped it for me.
Right.
I wasn't covering at that point.
No.
I didn't start covering until 2 years after that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I knew he was a player that you covered at least one
we're going
season.
Into
so
19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going into year 8 of Brooksy being a Dogs beat reporter. How about that?
Nice.
I'm getting old. Got gray hair.
You want to do another one?
Yeah, of course.
I was tied first on the team in rushing touchdowns during the 2022 national championship season.
Is it Kendall?
That is not
All
Kendall.
right, go ahead.
I changed numbers during my career.
I mean, I definitely would have guessed Kendall after that.
Yeah, it's pointing to Kendall.
Huh. Are you trying to trick me? Is this a quarterback?
It could be.
Stetson switched numbers and had a lot of rushing touchdowns.
Are you guessing Stetson?
I'm guessing Stetson.
Stetson Bennett was the tied leading rusher with 10 rushing touchdowns.
See, Jonathan would never do this to me. Jonathan would never bring obscure, I'm trying to trick him into thinking it might be a running back bullet points here. Continue with the bullet points, though.
Let's see. I was one of the lowest rated players at my position at the time of my commitment in 2019.
Man. I mean, was he even ranked?
He was he was listed as a 3-star when he came in, as a JUCO prospect. I'm the highest drafted Georgia player at my position under Kirby Smart. Would that have given it away?
No, because, I mean, that's not a great stat for Georgia.
It's not.
It's not a great stat.
They've only had
a quarterback.
They've only had two quarterbacks drafted, really. Jake Fromm, and if you want to count Carson, he gets the nod, but he was named a Miami prospect. And then the final one was, my name resembles that of a very notable hat company. That would have been the dead final giveaway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a cowboy hat guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Final one.
You got any cowboy hat guys in your life?
Not consistent cowboy hat guys, but like friends who own them and will wear them on an occasion. But not like I'm wearing it out of the house every day, 24/7.
My dad cracks me up.
Why is that?
I mean, he's from Colorado, and my whole entire life, never once have I seen him in a cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just, I guess, started binge watching Yellowstone.
Yeah, that brought a lot of people into that.
And now he was rocking cowboy hats for a while.
They're not convenient unless you are working outside all day. You can't wear them in the car.
Which
you can't.
Does.
Yeah, well then that's fine. They're hard to travel with.
But my pops is one of these people who I've come to find out listens a lot more than I thought he did.
No.
So he might hear this. My pops is one of those people that my entire life has dressed like the men that he is obviously watching or listening to way too often. like my early childhood, he thought he was George Strait. A lot of button downs, a lot of blue button downs, a lot of pants, boots, that kind of thing. And then he got into this phase of watching 2.5 Men, and then it was bowling shirts and khaki shorts, looking like Charlie Sheen. And then now it's like I think I'm John Dutton from the Dutton Ranch. So I don't know what phase he's in now. I think he's reverted back to George Strait, but yeah.
I mean, George Strait and John Dutton probably have some similarities.
Yeah, just blue jeans and button downs. Yeah. What you got?
Final one. I was one of Georgia's 4 5-star signees in the 2023 recruiting class.
2023, 5 stars. Okay.
I am not from the state of Georgia, but I am a Southeast prospect.
Are you from Florida?
Can't tell you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I finished the 2025 season with more than 30 total tackles. Final hint, I did not finish my career at Georgia, so he transferred away.
You are either Marvin Jones or Damon Wilson.
Neither of those.
Really? I don't know.
Penn State. I'll give you that hint as well.
Really? You're not at Penn State anymore, by the way.
Right.
You're in Indiana.
But I'm just that's one where you would.
Why am I drawing a blank on my man? It starts with an A.
AJ Harris.
AJ Harris.
You had it. I'll give you.
No,
that.
I have it. It's AJ Harris. Yeah, he's an Indiana Hoosier right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know that, but yeah, Indiana Hoosier, AJ Harris. Didn't run well enough.
No.
Also was impatient.
Yeah, I think he was
just impatient. Just did not see himself starting as a sophomore, so he's like, I'm out.
Understandable. I mean,
is it?
In this day and age, yeah.
Okay.
If I'm getting a call from a Power 4 program that they're handing me a bag to be a starter elsewhere, like we saw it this year with he who shall not be named.
Don't do it. I'll cry. I don't even think he's going to start this year at Ohio State.
I'll tell you, he's getting paid more than he would have been to stay. So
he's probably going to start.
I think he'll start. He's damn good.
The problem is one of those spots is sold, and it's Devin Sanchez, and he ain't coming off the field. Devin Sanchez is probably going to be corner 2 off the board this year. It'll be Leonard Moore and then Devin Sanchez. So, yeah, both those kids, I mean, elite corners. And then there's the Finney kid out there at Oregon that's damn good. Ellis Robinson is going to be up in this year's draft class. Finney's got to come back for a 3rd year. This is a good corners class if you need one in the NFL draft. All right, let's go on to who's claiming the number.
I like that.
This.
All right, so the way this segment works out is there have obviously been a lot of great Georgia players to come through over the last few years, including decades.
Sanchez is only a sophomore too. Never mind. Go ahead.
There's been a lot of Georgia players to come through over the last few years and wear a lot of numbers. And when you have so many great players with iconic numbers, you tend to get overlaps a handful of times. So I figured this would be a good exercise for us to name certain Georgia greats who share the same number and debate who gets to claim said number over one of the other. Now, there's going to be some obvious omissions here where I think that player is the epitome of that number. However, debating between one or the other, I think, is what we'll do here. So for the first one, we're starting off. Who gets to claim the number 3? Is it Roquan Smith or Todd Gurley?
Oh! Kamari Lassiter.
Kamari Lassiter is a dog. DJ Shockley, also a great to wear number 3. CJ Allen deserves a shout.
I'd probably go Todd.
I'm going Todd Gurley.
Yeah, probably
as well.
Todd. No offense, Roquan.
Roquan Smith had an unbelievable 2017 season. He made himself a Georgia legend because of that. Todd Gurley was the man from the second he got on campus to the second he left. Like, he was an unstoppable force of nature, it felt like. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, weird fact, only appeared in 5 more games than George Pickens did.
Let's get to some Super Chubs right quick before you give me this next one. Marcy Rian says, how is everyone? Missed y'all when I moved. Hope the move was nice and easy. It never really is. I don't know about you, but I despise moving. I despise it.
I've been lucky enough to avoid doing it.
I think there's still boxes that have been not unpacked in this house, and we've been living in here for 3.5 years. Michael, I think that's Michael. Michael says, Super Chub, Nick Chubb. Chubtown, Lakers in 5 in your best Shannon Sharp impression. Probably put that before Lakers in 5. That's as good as I got. Bama Brooks and Auburn faithful Kirby. Marcy paid another $20 to cook us right quick. We love Marcy Reen. All right, what do you got next for me? Whose number?
Does the number 24 belong to Malachi Starks or No Sean Marino?
No Sean. For me. I mean, No Sean's one of my favorite college football players of all time.
That's fair. I mean, the legend of No Sean Marino, I think, is just a bit more than Malachi Starks. It's also you're at a disadvantage. Like, running back is going to always be a much more impactful and star-studded position than a safety would be. I would say Malachi Starks probably had the more impactful career.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're right. I would say when you hear the number 24, you think of No Sean.
Malachi Starks playing quarterback in high school with number 24 was premier.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, it was premier. It looked a lot like now I don't do this a lot. It looked a lot like Eric Berry at Creekside.
Oh.
That the high school tapes looked almost identical.
All right, who gets to claim this number? Number 11, Jake Fromm or Aaron Murray?
It's Murray. By a mile.
Is it by a mile, though?
By a mile.
I agree. It's Aaron Murray. Aaron Murray does not have an SEC championship victory. Aaron Murray does not have a college football playoff appearance. Aaron Murray does not have a national championship appearance.
He also doesn't have a chooch.
Aaron Murray was my quarterback growing up. He is one of my favorite Georgia players of all time. I give him this. I don't think it's by a mile like anyone says. Like, I think people forget how great Jake Fromm was for Georgia. While there may have been some frustrations at time, he was a damn good quarterback. Has a fantastic legacy to leave behind.
Great?
I would say he was great for Georgia. He wasn't elite. He was not a game-changing quarterback. He was a great quarterback.
Chat's on my end right here. It's by a mile.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think it's as obviously blatant.
He's so much more prolific.
He was.
Yeah. He's on some great offenses.
He was.
Yeah.
All right. Does the number 4 belong to Nolan Smith or Mecole Hardman?
Nolan.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Now, I know, like, we spent 2 years as, like, a backup, like a spot role player, essentially, and then the last year in college, we tore our pec 7.5 sacks in. And so it doesn't really feel that way. But I felt Nolan was one of the more important faces of the football team when he was here.
Definitely.
You know?
Certainly, yeah.
And no disrespect to Mecole, but I think even Mecole would be like, yeah, Nolan.
Yeah. Nolan's also one of those people that played 4 years, and it felt like every year they got better. Mm-hmm. Like from when he was a freshman in 2019 to when he left in 2022, like he evolved into a full-fledged star for Georgia.
Trying to think of a better battle here. Do you think it would be a bigger discussion topic if we were like Mecole or Oscar Delp?
I'd give it to Mecole pretty quickly there. Yeah, I mean, Mecole was a dynamic guy. Oscar Delp, great tight end, gave you 4 really solid years, stepped up in some big moments. Mecole Hardman was like a dynamic game changer. Here's one that'll be difficult for you. Does the number 2 belong to Richard LeCount or Brandon Boykin?
Look, I mean, Fayette County's finest, Brandon Boykin. I think Brandon Boykin is the only Division I player to come out of Fayette County High School.
Really?
Like, at that rate, yeah. I think so. I'll look this up, but like I've been doing this since 2019, and I have been aware of every offerable player that Georgia has offered. Okay, and I don't think they've thrown a single offer at Fayette County High School since 2019.
Really?
I'll have to look this up, but yeah, there hasn't been one, and it's not a deprived area of talent.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, this is where
I don't even know if Fayette County still plays football.
Oh.
I got to look this up.
This is one that will separate the new age Georgia fans and the old school traditional ones. Does the number 17 belong to Dan Jackson or Greg Blue?
Well, me personally, when I think of Dan Jackson, I think of 47.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after he gave you 3 years in 17?
When I think Dan Jackson, my mind immediately goes 47. And it would take me a minute to go, oh, yeah, that's right. He wore 17 most of the time. But, yeah, I envision him as a 47 guy. But it's Greg Blue.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Blue was elite. Like, I watched a
you know what else is elite? Sorry to cut you off. Any name that the whole entire stands can do like a blue every time you make a play. Like it's very unique. Not unique, and it happens quite often, but it's a benefit to your lore, if you will, as a football player. Like the Coon, the fullback, has this as well. Coon every time he makes a play in the NFL.
Now, I left out Dan Jackson. I put Dan Jackson because they both played safety. Who would get to claim it between Greg Blue or Nakobe Dean?
Nakobe. Hey, there's a 4-foot running back at Fayette County this year.
Interesting.
Surely that's a typo.
Got to be.
But yeah, no. You got any more?
This is my final one, and I feel like this is a fairly obvious answer as well, but we'll see because it's undecided yet. But here's the hypothetical.
Oh, my God. Fayette County was 0-10 last year.
That's not great.
Go ahead. They got beat 88-20? Sorry.
Should he win 2 college football playoff games this year? Doesn't win the national championship.
Okay.
Who gets to claim number 14? Is it Gunnar Stockton or David Green?
Ooh. David Green won 60 games in college, didn't he?
Oh, I mean, he was a legend. Like I believe a 4-year start, a little bit before my time.
Yeah, I'm a David Green guy, but damn, I'd die for Gunnar Stockton.
I mean,
I never felt that way about David. I just thought David also the rare. Surely he's 27 years old. You know what I mean? Like when he was playing college football, I was like, damn, my man look mature. But no, I'd die for Gunnar Stockton.
I would personally say Gunnar Stockton. I didn't grow up watching David Green, though. I've heard the David Green lore, legendary stuff from him. Obviously, you win the 2002 SEC championship with him. Gunnar Stockton's already given you 2 SEC championships, and if you get a deep college football playoff run, I'm going to say Gunnar Stockton gets to claim that, especially in an era where transferring away has been the status quo. I would say Gunnar Stockton gets number 14 if he wins 2 college footbll playoff games.
Honestly, I think this is the toughest one you threw at me today.
Yeah, I saved that one.
I mean,
for
that
last.
that is a banger. I don't know who I would pick there, but yeah, no. If he wins 2 college football playoff games this year, that probably means he's playing for a national title.
You would hope so, because
Yeah.
I mean that's assuming Georgia wins the SEC and gets a bye. So those are all the ones I have for who gets to claim that number.
Let's play old game.
Let's do it. All right. So the way this
By the
will
way,
work.
I always have to introduce this. I'm cutting you off bad right now.
It's okay.
But you'll see why here in a second. This is hands down the best offseason. I said this last week when we did this, and it needs to be said every time because I'm so appreciative of this segment. This is the best offseason segment that has ever been brought to the forefront on this channel.
Oh, thank you.
So go ahead.
Thank you. The way this works is that in the lull of the offseason, I like to watch some old Georgia football games, relive some fantastic moments. So when I do, I've taken some notes and observed some things that have changed from a schematic standpoint, from a personnel standpoint, from a player's standpoint, sometimes from a broadcast standpoint, and I bring those notes to you now. So I will give some preliminary statistics on this game and see if you can guess it.
Okay.
This is the 76th meeting, or was the 76th meeting between these two teams. Probably won't help you a ton.
No, it doesn't.
This might not help you a ton either, because I don't know if you'll necessarily care. Uga 11 was making his home debut in this game.
I do care because I took an elite photo of him. And, man, I remember how nervous that damn dog looked.
Oh, he was terrified.
Oh, God, I felt bad for him.
Did not have the noise training going in on him.
And how could you? You
Right.
know, like, how do you simulate that?
No.
You should take him into the House of Pain and have Kirby turn the mics up? Like,
Yeah.
what? How do we make the dog get a simulator for 93,000 screaming?
That poor dog, dude.
My man was dragging. By the way, friend of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Seiler family?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Heading into this contest, Georgia had won 3 straight games of 27 points or more over this opponent.
I want to say Kentucky or Arkansas.
It is not them. This is some in-game statistics for
Okay.
you. Georgia failed to score a touchdown in the first half of this game and was down by 2 scores. It was their fewest points scored in the first half since the 2019 SEC Championship.
This is 2022?
It is
You
not
already told me that. What year is this?
It is 2023.
I'm drawing blanks, dude. Give me another one.
Heading into this game, the opponent Georgia was playing had won its last 2 matchups against top 10 teams.
It's definitely not Vandy.
No.
It's not Vandy. It's not Kentucky. It's not Arkansas.
You're in the right space, though.
Missouri? No, they haven't played them 76 times. Come on, give me another one. You're probably running out.
This is the last one I have. There was not an incompletion in this game until 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Buddy, I got nothing for you.
All right, so I'll start reading off
Hold
some.
on. Yeah, no, I got nothing. I got Jack Diddley.
So Georgia starts off this game. It's a rainy day. Ball's kicked out of bounds. Opponent starts on the Georgia 35. Their quarterback goes 8 for 8 to march down the field. Offensive touchdown for them. Georgia's down 7-0.
It's not Florida because that wasn't the first home game for UCA.
Want me to tell you?
Yeah.
This is the 2023 Georgia versus South Carolina game.
Huh. Why am I drawing blanks on this entire football game?
Really?
This is Spencer Rattler's last year at South Carolina.
Correct.
isn't it?
Spencer
And
Rattler.
he played lights out the first half.
First half, I was incredible. Started
Yeah.
the game off 8 for 8, just completely dicing up Georgia. Goes up 7-0. First note I have on the Georgia offensive side of things, this was before defenses really figured out that Cash Jones was a receiving back. Because Cash Jones is hitting Texas routes, swing routes out of the backfield, and no one's really covering him. They're treating him just like a normal, ordinary running back. Quite obvious that the trends and the personnel had not been developed yet, which how could they? I think this was the first year Cash Jones got real action. Georgia eventually settles for a field goal in their first drive of the game. And this game, to me, was the epitome of what Carson Beck was. If the pocket is clean, if everything is playing on time, he is going to dissect you. He is surgical. However, if you get someone in his face, some things at his feet, he makes some rash decisions, some unfortunate throws. Like, he marches Georgia down the field in the first drive of the game, and then they ultimately sputter out and settle. And then after that, they had trouble getting anything going on offense because South Carolina's defensive line was really good this year. They had Tonka Hemingway, some other guys like that, really making big plays for them. Kamar Lasser was so damn fun to watch, dude. In one drive alone, he absolutely blows up a screen in the second quarter and does, the classic head slap celebration. 3 plays later, breaks up a post route. Just one of the more fun Georgia cornerbacks to watch. Him and DeAndre Baker are probably the most dynamic you've seen under Kirby Smart. So I don't think Georgia wins this game without Dejon Edwards. If you remember, he had come back from injury in this game. Georgia was, throwing Roderick Robinson out there. Cash Jones was getting burned. This was the first game Dejon Edwards was healthy. He finishes the day with 20 carries for 108 yards. Like, the Dejon Death March, I think, was born in this game. I think it's one of the few games he went over 100 yards.
Talk about grinding it out.
Yeah.
22 totes for 108.
Yeah, 20 for 108. They fed him in this game. This is also, unfortunately, the Marius Mims injury game. The one where the one that robs you of the 2023 season. He's expected coming into this, and ultimately he was a first-round pick, but coming into this, he's expected to be this absolute lockdown tackle. And it played well up until then. Gets a sprained ankle, someone rolls up on him.
Was that the same, like that spring? Was that when he flirted with Florida State? Or was that the year before that?
I believe that was 2022.
Okay.
Because
y'all remember when Florida State tried?
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think people forget, and this is worth noting, I think people forget how disliked Peyton Woodring was coming in at the start of his career. He misses 2 chip shot field goals in this game. Now, it's wet out. There's a little bit of the weather was not permitting for that, but Georgia left 6 points on the field solely because Peyton Woodring kicked the ball out of bounds. So I think that was worth noting. South Carolina ultimately marches down the field off a missed field goal that Georgia has. Goes up 14-3 at half, and it's kind of the sky is falling. Everyone's looking around like, oh, my God, what's going on here? Georgia has never been trailing by this much to an unranked team, if that. And I think people, if you remember, this is the iconic Kirby Smart telling people exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get the ball. They're going to go down. They're going to score. They're going to stop them. They're going to score again, which is essentially exactly how the game plays out. Georgia comes out in the second half with a fantastic touchdown drive. They end up trying to go for 2, but Carson Beck gets a delay of game. They have to settle for a field goal. It was very obvious Carson Beck was a young quarterback here. A lot of time management, a lot of play clock not being able to – clock gets down to 1 and 2 seconds lots of times, and it's simply because Carson Beck is trying to get everything done. So that happens. Like Kirby Smart predicts, absolutely stonewall South Carolina immediately after the score on the next drive, and they take a 17-14 lead. And I think what happened in this game, and I don't know if you'll be able to confirm it by film or even if you've broken down this game already, the plan was in the first half was we're going to let Spencer Rattler just kind of take what we give him. We're going to give him a lot of the flats. We're going to give him a lot of early mesh routes, things like that. And he ate them alive doing it. Hitches, short game, marching down the field. Second half, they're just peeling their ears back and going for it. It's basically like, hey, if you're going to beat us, you're going to throw 50-50 balls over Kamari last year. You're going to make something down the middle of the field, and he could not do it. Here's a statistic for you. You'll like this. Spencer Rattler finished the second half. Would you like to guess what his completion to incompletion ratio was?
He was probably 50% in the second half.
He was 7 for 23 with 2 interceptions in the second half.
Great.
I mean, he got absolutely stoned, Walt. Here's my obligatory Brock Bowers play. I remember watching this one in the stands, too, because I had the perfect angle. There's an end around that is given to him. He is absolutely dead to rights. 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The safety has an angle on him. He hits the safety has an angle on the tight end. Brock Bowers hits another gear and is able to get out of bounds for no loss of gain. It wasn't like a highlight play. It wasn't anything that makes you go like, oh, my God, whoa. But just the sheer athleticism of him was so incredible. It's also one of the few games I've rewatched from his career where he wasn't that much of a factor in the passing game.
I'm looking at – do you have more notes? Because I have a point. I'm looking at Peyton Woodring's stats right now.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see where analytics have impacted college football the most? Go look at 30 to 39-yard field goal attempts. In 2023, Peyton Woodring was 14 for 14 on field goals from 30 to 39 yards. He only took 7 of those in 2024. He had 4 attempts from 30 to 39 yards in 2025.
Is that
That is, we're going for it on fourth down is what that is. In that area of the field.
Or is that we're actually scoring when we get to the red zone?
No, those aren't red zone field goals, Kirby. A 30-yard field goal is closest end is you kicking it from the 23.
Yeah.
So that's in that no man's land.
Yeah.
In that 39 to 30-yard field goal, which would be the 23 to the 29-yard line, we're going for it.
Right.
Which is, again, that's analytics right there. This is the championship analytics. It's the book, playing a role right there. I mean, it's inefficient to kick those field goals now, I guess, is what the book's telling you.
It makes sense. I mean, I would also say that the efficiency that you had on offense in the short yardage that you were provided that many times with this offense, I'm sure there's plenty of factors to play into, but you're right. Like, teams have started going for it way more in that area. And I believe it's called the green zone, referred to as no man's land. So, yeah. It makes sense.
Green zone's 30 and in for me. I don't know what other people.
I don't know what the official name of it is, but so here's another note I had from this. Georgia in the second half begins getting chunk play after chunk play after chunk play because they are, one, running the ball very efficiently and hitting on screens. Marcus Rosemi-Jack Saint takes one for a good bit. Brock Bowers has a good screen reception. Screens have always been prevalent in the Mike Bub era, and they always worked. I think that just the repeated usage of them with Zachariah Branch is what kind of has grown old with the fan base. But again, they're still remaining very efficient. Cass Jones got a rushing touchdown in this game, and the reason I had this in the notes, Georgia's up 17-14. Cass Jones touchdown, it's about 20 yards out. It is the exact, to a T, to a formation, to a blocking scheme, the exact same play in the same end zone that they ran against Alabama on fourth down. And the difference is that Tate Ratledge seals it off. Cass Jones gets a hole, scores a touchdown. Obviously, we know what happens last year.
Ooh, buddy, they did it again against Georgia Tech. I was watching that game back a couple days ago.
Oh, really?
they did that same exact, hey, get back on the ball, let's run mid-zone off tackle. And, I'm talking about by the skin of their teeth converted against Tech.
So yeah,
I'm not a proponent of it.
So yeah, Georgia basically runs away with it there, controls the clock. A Tyke Smith interception seals the game for them. Georgia wins 24-14. Not a pretty win, not a fun game to watch necessarily, but a nice reminder of memory lane. I actually was in the stands with my parents when we watched that game, so fun to relive those types of moments. So that is my notes from the 2023 South Carolina versus Georgia game.
Let's attribute Max.
Let's do it.
Do a little attribute maxing right here on the Film Guy Network.
This is actually another video game inspired type segment to where if you go in and you create a player, you edit, certain attributes that you want. If you could only pick one attribute for a Georgia football player to upgrade for them, and it can't be a trade, it can't be, I'd make Gunnar Stockton 6'5", or I'd make so-and-so weigh this much. It has to be speed, strength, ball security, traits, not measurables or things like that. So, did you have any, or do you want me to go first?
No, rattle the list. Let's go.
First one I would go is I would increase Chauncey Bowen's injury resistance and max it out. I think Chauncey Bowen's 2025 season kind of was diminished because of injuries, unfortunately. So, I would love to see him be healthy the entire season. Next, I'm maxing out Gunner's speed. I think that Gunnar Stockton, as a passer, is perfectly fine. I think that you add another wrinkle, another level to that game if Gunnar Stockton can not only get tackled after 5 yards, but can truly pull away from linebackers and DBs. I think he becomes a 100-yard rusher consistently if that's the case.
I would change that.
Okay.
I would make him his durability through the roof.
So you can just
So
go
I
out
just
there and
run
play.
his ass into the ground.
Yeah, that's
And,
a fair
I
one
know
too.
his durability is insane right now, but it's because he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
And we don't want to make him die on the field, even though he's very obviously willing to do so. If you could assure me that if I gave him 15 carries a game, and look, the 15 carries might average 80 yards. Like, they might be Riley Leonard-esque rushing attempts. But, man, we'd be extremely hard to stop if I knew for a fact I can't knock this kid out of the game. Yeah, obviously, it'd be cool for him to run away from everybody.
Right.
But just give me the durability. Just let me know that I can 4 yards cloud of dust him. Because if we can, you're not stopping Georgia offense if Gunnar Stockton's durability is through the roof.
Next one I'm maxing out, I'm taking Elias Williams, and I'm taking the vertical leap and putting it as high as humanly possible. Because we already have a height advantage. If we can just...
Why?
Dude, if you can throw a football 12 feet in the air and guarantee it's going to be caught in a 50-50 possession, like 50-50 balls are just going to be the norm for us if we have someone who can jump that high and is that damn tall. And I'm sure he can jump pretty high already, but that adds a completely...
Do you think there's a single human being on the planet or in college football not named Trades Green that could get a high point ball better than Elias already?
I mean, he's certainly got the skill set in the physical.
Give him Brock Bowers' yak, and now we got
that
a
is
super
also
freak.
scary. But that's
Now we got a super freak.
But again, that's not like a skill set an attribute that you can increase.
You're right. There's not a yak category?
I think there is, but it's also like that involves speed and all that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking just more like hardcore, straight attributes. I'm also maxing out Scobie White-Helton's change of direction. I think he's really good at that. I think that if you added kind of like I think what the decrease or the fall off is going to be from the slot position from Zachariah Branch to Scobie White-Helton is I don't think Scobie White-Helton is nearly as shifty as Zachariah Branch.
Nah, he's more like, you actually got hands on me, I'm going to run through an arm tackle. Whereas getting hands on Zachariah Branch is a hope and a prayer.
So imagine it was that hard to do for Scobie White-Helton combined with I can also run through your arm tackles. I think that's what would make him an elite player for that.
It's a good call.
I'm maxing out Chris Cole's tackling for two reasons.
Yeah, we missed like 4 sacks last year.
And that was one of them. And if that's the best attribute I could give for being able to finish at the point of attack, he's pretty reliable when it comes to open field tackling and things like that. We left 3 or 4 sacks on tape last year. You just can't leave on especially in this season, especially when Amaris Williams is already getting hurt. you're going to kind of probably be the pass rush third down guy. You got to be able to finish at the point of attack. This one might be I don't want to seem like I'm insulting, but I'm maxing out KJ Bolden's catching. We dropped 2 or 3 interceptions last year.
You know what's crazy about that? He plucked it really, really well as a wide receiver in high school.
Very well.
I mean, it wasn't like he was like, oh, let's jet sweep the 5-star safety. No, he played legitimate wide receiver at Buford High School.
Yeah.
I think he started his career as a wide receiver at Buford.
Wasn't he recruited as an athlete? Like, wasn't it up in the air where he was going to play?
Well, I think towards the end of his career was obvious, or end of his high school career was obvious he was going to be a safety in college. But no, you're right in the sense that if you watch like the sophomore tape's got just as many offensive plays as it does defensive plays at Buford. So yeah, it is weird that we can't quite get it done catching the ball right now.
And it's not that he can't. I mean,
we haven't, I should say.
Well, it's not that. I mean, he's had 2 interceptions last year. I think he was one of the. I think outside of Ellis Robinson, he was one of the higher in interceptions. Like he had one against Texas, one against Tennessee. He could catch the football. He can get interceptions. They're both overthrown slants that he comes in and slides and gets them.
Yeah, I remember the Tennessee one. I'm trying to put my brain on the Texas one.
It's basically the same interception as it was in Tennessee. Arch sails a slant route over the middle, and it basically just lands in the chest of KJ bucket. He catches it like literally on a knee and just stands up and walks away. Like
Chat saying maxing out Bowens' speed. Guys, Chauncey Bowens is already super fast. Chauncey Bowens ran 10.4 in the 100-meter in high school at 230 pounds. Chauncey Bowens is plenty fast. Chauncey Bowens is what he's talking about. He's just, I got to be able to give you 20 carries and know that you're not going to get hurt. And right now, I don't know if that's the answer. It hasn't been so far in his career, but he ain't gotten 20 carries. And he's still banged up against Georgia Tech last year, didn't he? Or was it Texas? This is like one of the last plays they ran in the game, and he ends up coming up lame on his back.
Alabama
in
the SEC championship game.
I knew it was in the
You know why I remember that game?
Because Gunner was pissed off.
Dude, Gunner was because Georgia is trying to get the ball down to 2 minutes. Chauncey comes up in his gimp and he's like patting his head and is like starting to go down, and Gunner is giving him hell for stopping the clock. So I remember that very well. I'm maxing out Gabe Harris's acceleration.
This was one of the ones that I wanted to write down. If I can just twitch up one of them edge rushers, I would have gone Quintavious.
Okay.
If I could twitch up one of them edge rushers, we're done. We're good. Like that's the only thing those 2 football players are missing. Gabe and Quintavious. Just now life, you know? And if they ever had that, I mean, both of them would be 10-sack guys.
Yeah.
But they're high effort push the pocket rushers right now, which fits the fits the scheme for sure. They're not like selfish in their rushing. They never have been since I've studied them. So but yeah, maybe it's because they haven't had a twitched up rusher in a minute.
No,
Nolan the last one?
Nolan probably was the last one. Like Michael was not a twitchy fast guy. Maybe
Jalen Walker. Sorry.
Okay, I'm thinking of straight edge
like
guys.
True 6'3" plus, 230 pound plus edge rushers.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I also like Jalen Walker is one of those where it's like, is he a linebacker? Is he an edge? So like true edges, I think Nolan's the last one.
Chad said, "Give me Jaden Wade maxed out loyalty."
Honestly,
it's a good
facts.
shout.
Facts.
It's a good shout, 910 Coop.
Here's the last one I have, and I think because he's going to be an integral part of your offense this year, and he's not going to be a star. If you can max out Lawson Lucky's blocking abilities and just guarantee me that whoever he locks onto is not going to cause any issues, that's going to free up the ability for guys like Ethan Barbour, Jaden Riddell, Elias Williams.
Well, it's Elias. I was going to say, who is the inline tight end blocker this year?
Elias Williams.
It's Elias.
But if
and
you,
it's the effort's tremendous, the ability is tremendous, but he is not Oscar yet.
Nope.
As an inline blocker.
And that's why I'm saying if we can
He's
make
definitely not Darnell yet.
If we can make Lawson Lucky our inline guy, because Lawson Lucky's great in the past, but
he's great in the extension of the run game too. He's elite latching on defensive backs.
Exactly. And that's why I think if you can increase that to that degree, you free up, hey, Elias, you don't have to be the inline guy anymore. Or hey, we can go 13 personnel because we still have 2 tight ends that can run routes for us. So I'm increasing Lawson Lucky's strength or blocking abilities. Those are all I have.
All right, I want to attribute max a quarterback right now.
Okay.
So here's how we're going to do this. You take, for example, I want the legs of Stetson Bennett.
Got it.
I want the arm.
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, of Matthew Stafford. Whose brain do you take? Jake Fromm? Processing, control.
Yeah.
Who? Yeah, do we take Jake?
I'd probably take Jake.
Like neck up. We taking Jake?
I'd take Jake.
Okay. What else? Leadership. Taking David Green?
Gunner.
Yeah.
Gunner gets the leadership nod.
By the way, does Shock get a shout for legs? Who's a better athlete, him or Stetson? Because if we're talking college football video game, it's Shock.
Right.
Shock's 2005 NCAA was elite.
Yeah.
Elite.
That's tough. I think.
And by the way, where's Aaron fit into this?
I think Aaron's best trait was that he was great at all those things, but he wasn't the best at any of them.
No. Huh.
Like, he didn't have the strongest arm, but he had a great arm. He wasn't the greatest processor, but he was a damn good one. He didn't have the best legs, but he was a great dual.
Sorry, Jake. We're gonna give the processing to Aaron.
Aaron had some bad games, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great moments. Fantastic quarterback. Aaron Murray also had some like Jake Fromm, from the minute he stepped foot to the minute he left, was like, this guy's going to take care of the football for the most part.
Apart from 2019 South Carolina.
Correct. But go watch 2012 Florida and tell me Aaron Murray's take care of football that game.
Oh. Accuracy, maybe, Murray?
Yeah, give me accuracy from Murray. If
he can put it where he wants.
If you could give me Matthew Stafford's arm with Aaron Murray's accuracy, you got the perfect quarterback.
I like that.
I like that too. That was fun. Honestly, we'll probably have to do that for more positions.
Yeah, we'll do that with running back next.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, appreciate you guys for being here. We will be live back again Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Maybe a film study in the midst of this time and that time. But I'm trying to stow those. I'm trying to stow those away for post-SEC Media Days where we actually get, like, full bump.
Right.
Like, we're out here putting out GOAT studies for, like, 4,000 views. That's not the standard around here. The standard is anything we do film-wise better go north of 20,000 views. And I don't think those run in the algorithms start happening for us until the mid-July, late July. So appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button on your way out.